The PGA Tour moved to Palm Springs last week, and the Tour's headquarters at the PGA National. A course familiar with one of the game's greats, who added his special touch to the layout in 1990. For the past 5 years, Jack Nicklaus's Champions course has played as one of the toughest on tour, including a treacherous 3-hole stretch entitled the Bear Trap, after the Golden Bear himself. And a cut line of 7 over last week revealed the Bear's claws are still as sharp as ever.
There are 3 holes that aren't very long, and they're certainly not power holes that you can overpower. They're holes that you've got to be precise on. I never dreamed when I redid 15. 15 was a little benign par 3 before we did it, and when we brought the water into play on it, all of a sudden it became a monster. 16 isn't anything all that unusual. It's not much of a tee shot. And the water really isn't in play on that hole very much. But it's always a good strong hole. I don't know why, but the wind conditions always make it so, because if you miss the fairway there, the second shot becomes very awkward. And then 17, which was just a little flip, nothing. All of a sudden, putting it on the water, and I think it might have been on the water before, but putting it on the water with the conditions and that wind coming in your face an awful lot. And the whole segment there is not length. It's not about length. It's about precision. It's about guts. It's about, can you get down to what do you got between here and your chest that you can finish those holes.
Heart and determination were never a problem for Jack Nicklaus. He still holds the record for his 18 major victories. His last major title came 25 years ago when he astonished the golfing world, winning the Masters at the age of 46.
It was a neat win. It was one that I guess nobody really expected me to be in contention at that point in my career, and particularly even me. I hadn't really prepared all that great for it that spring. But once I got myself in contention, muscle memory and knowing how to play golf came back.
It seemed inevitable that Nicklaus's major wins would be surpassed by Tiger Woods. What's Nicklaus's view now, following Tiger's problems off and on the course?
He's got such a great work ethic. He's so determined to what he wants to do. I'm very surprised that he hasn't popped back. I mean, I still think he'll break my record, but. Obviously, we haven't played any majors yet this year, so we'll see. Look at he probably could ask me that same question at the end of this year, and we'll see what the answer is, and then it might, that'll probably define a lot of what will be the answer.
Of course, Tiger's demise has seen him knocked off the world #1 ranking, and Nicklaus is enjoying the fight for top spot.
It seems as though we're having more guys today that are really working pretty hard to get to the top. And that didn't seem to be the case, let's just say 4 or 5 years ago. They seemed to sort of turn it over to Tiger, and they were quite content to be 2, 3, 4, 5 and move along. And all of a sudden, that #1 spot's vacant, and there's a lot of guys who have really sort of popped their game up and sort of gone after it.
And what does the great man think of this resurgence in European golf, with that Ryder Cup victory and with the world rankings now dominated by Europeans?
I've always felt like I'm sure that the Europeans have felt like they needed to prove themselves a little bit more in the world. So the U.S. has always been the supposedly superior tour. That's why they come here and play, and they needed to prove themselves. So maybe they have, I don't know, I shouldn't say worked harder. I'm sure that the U.S. guys worked very hard, but it seems as though they seem to want it more right now.
The modern champions all aspire to match the efforts of this legend of the game. When Jack Nicklaus speaks, you tend to listen. At the age of 71, it's great to see he hasn't lost any of his passion for the game of golf.